And God is saying, no, I've instituted marriage because you have to grow, you have to grow, you have to grow. You have to grow spiritually. The world is full of trouble. And if you don't know a way of standing up to trouble, then you're going to be defeated by the circumstances of life. And so, God gave us marriage. And what I was telling two young people the other day is that marriage is two friends living together. Two friends living together to fight the challenges of life. It's two friends living together. I don't know about you, but to me, sometimes you get more challenges than you get a nice happy time. Because sometimes the happy times don't last before, bam, something happens. Something happens. But if you don't understand that you're two friends, you can live in a house as enemies, because the first time something goes wrong, you say, it's not my fault, it's your fault. Oh, not my fault, your fault. You start to blame one another, then you start living in competition with one another. You start to look for this perfect self. You know, you always want to be right. Well, if you want to be right, marriage is not for you. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. If you are someone who is seeking to be right, you are in the wrong world. Because this world is not about you being right, it's about you choosing to be happy. So if I, in a marriage, would choose to be right, there'll always be conflict. But if I'm choosing to be happy, whenever something happens, I know that there's a word like understanding, there's a word like forgiveness, there's a word like forget and move on, there's a word like, hey, let's hug and kiss. Let's move beyond our difficulties. We are looking for happiness. We are looking for the joy. The joy of the Lord is our strength. If we can't find the Lord in our marriage, then, you know, it's tough. It's tough. It's not over. And I guess that's what I wanted to say. Two friends coming together in a marriage with the help of the Lord to seek and to find happiness. Happiness. That's all we want in this life. We want to know that, hey, no matter what is happening, we're happy. I'm not saying it always works, but when you learn to let things go, happiness begins. See, for me, the past is a bad professor. If you're using the past to get education, and using the past to counsel you and to give you guidance, you have to remember one thing. Negatives will produce more negatives. So if you're using the past, you've got to be able, be wise enough to understand you're picking the positive from the past. The positives will be those things that God has blessed you with. Open your eyes so you can see that what you think was that bad is not that bad after all. The Bible tells us when Joseph was going through all that he was going through, Joseph came up with one conclusion. What people mean for bad, God can turn it into good. So you have got to live as friends, looking for how God is turning around your circumstances into good, and to give you the strength and the will to keep on through the years. Because, you know, the vow is until death do us part. The vow is until death do us part. It's tough to know God is saying one thing and you saying something else. Go for it God's way. Look for the standard that God has set. If you don't know the standard by which to build your marriage, it's going to be problematic because you make up your own standards. But if you're going according to God's standards, then you'll have a barometer, you'll have a path that you can always know when you're going left or right or wrong. So yes, it's 40 years, we're grateful. It's 50 years of friendship. We met 50 years, 10 years before we got married. And it's still going, and I'm thanking God for that. Let's bow our heads and pray. Father God, we thank you for today. It's a day that means a lot to us. It's a day, oh God, 40 years of a whole generation. And we have been able to live 40 years together, despite the storms, the rain, despite sunshine that could be harsh sometimes, despite all that we have had to go through. We are thanking you for helping us to endure and to bring us this far in life. We look to you because you, once you start something, you will see the completion. So we're looking to you, not ourselves, but we're looking to you so that we can be a couple that really honors that vow that says, until death do us part. Bless us, cover us, and God, strengthen us so we can go the rest of this journey. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 Today I want to give a brief word of something. And that word is simply this.
Can you use the mic?
Awesome. Can I hear you?
Use the mic.
Okay. Yes, today I want to give a brief word of something. And that word is simply this. Always keep God in mind. Just say it. I will always keep God in mind. I will always keep God in mind. When we get to know who God is, we will know that we have to keep Him in mind. See, God is Jehovah. I will begin because of my condition right now. Jehovah Rapha, the one who heals. I've seen a lot of people who get sick and they just say that, Pastor, that's it. Let His will be done. And God is saying, I'm your healer. But they're just seeing death. They're giving up. Well, Pastor, I know what the doctor said. They won't believe in the doctor. And in the sick, to do for them more than God can do for them. So when we know that God is a healer, it's good for us to always keep it in mind. Because sometime or other we will get sick. And if you're going to be dependent solely on tablets and medication, if you're going to be dependent solely on the doctor's opinion and our own feelings, then we would have a hard time. We would have a hard time. Because God says, I am your healer. We look to God for healing. And it takes the edge off of our worry when we go through moments of sickness. Always know that when you're sick, God has you in His hand and He is healing you whether you realize it or not. He is the provider. In other words, whatever you lack, He can provide. Listen, He owns the world. He owns everything in the world. The food in the world is. Whatever you can use in a factory to generate something is His wisdom. It's His technology. Everything belongs to Him. And He says, I am Jehovah Jireh. I'm the one who provides. No matter what you lack, look to God, because God can give it to you. I don't know, I guess you guys have had these experiences sometimes when you were at your end. You probably lacked money, you probably lacked something, but you didn't know where it's going to come from. You might have said a prayer, or you might have thought about God, and the next thing you know, somebody brings what you need into your life. God is a provider. He's going to use anybody to bring to you what you desire when you have need. You have to remember who God is. When you're going through moments where you are depressed and hurt and frustrated, when you're conflicted by life circumstances, remember, He is a banner of victory under which you march. In other words, no matter what you're going through, your end will be victorious. You will get the victory. You will get the victory. Say, I will get the victory.
I will get the victory.
Why? Because God is not a failure. He's never lost a battle yet. And if you are in His army, why do you think you're going to lose? You can't say the whole army won, but I lose. Something is wrong. Once you're with God, your victory is assured. And we can go on and on and on and on and on, talking about the personalities of God. But there is something I want to draw your attention to. Many times, we forget God, we forget who He is, and we forget that He is present in our lives simply because we disconnect ourselves from Him. There's a psalm that I really, really liked, Psalm 136. Yes, go.
Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the God of gods. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord of lords. His love endures forever. To Him who alone does great wonders, His love endures forever. Who by His understanding made the heavens, His love endures forever. Who spread out the earth upon the waters, His love endures forever. Who made the great lights, His love endures forever. The sun to govern the day, His love endures forever. The moon and stars to govern the night, His love endures forever. To Him who struck down the firstborn of Egypt, His love endures forever.
Go.
And brought Israel out from among them, His love endures forever.
Oh, there. The psalmist is getting us to understand that everything you see this world God put together. And why? Because of His love. His love for ultimately His final creation. God made everything that He made us. So when we came into the world, we did not lack anything. Everything that we would have needed to survive, God placed in the world. And we're looking at a time when the children of Israel were enslaved in Egypt. For 400 years they were enslaved in Egypt. And God called Moses, and He sent Moses to free them. Now, listen to this carefully. What God is saying to us is that no matter how long we think we've been struggling, He has a plan to set us free.
Amen.
I like how God maps out His disclosures to us. No matter how long they were in Egypt as slaves, God came to their rescue. And you know, when God sent Moses, God showed us that when He's about to free us, our circumstances may want to hold us back. A lot of times God will be saying to you, hey, you know what? Make a shift in your position. Go here instead of there. Do this instead of that. But you're saying, no, I can't do that because I've been doing this for so long. You know, it's a risk. God is not a risk taker. God is ever loving, ever faithful, ever sure in all He does. So when He passes on something to you, it's not a risk. You need to have faith and do it. Amen. Because it's already planned. Whatever today you know you're holding back on, it's not God doing that to you. You're doing that to yourself because you're refusing to take your faith and walk, following the instructions that God has given. And so, after they were in Egypt for so many hundreds of years, God sent Moses. And Pharaoh decided, it's not going to be easy. You guys are not going anywhere. God gave him 10 plagues. And after each plague, he had an attitude. Well, we just read who struck Egypt with their firstborn. When you remember God, God stands in your corner. God stands up for you. When the plague of death was passing through Egypt, God told Moses what to do. Cover your people with the blood of the Lamb. If you cover yourself with the presence of God, no evil can befall you. No plague can come near your dwelling. And so He put the blood of the Lamb on the doorpost. And when the angel of death was passing through, all those who were not covered by the blood of the Lamb, they perished. Their firstborn perished. But all those who were covered by the blood of the they were set free. When you remember God, you will not perish. When you remember God, it means that you are going to do what God has asked you to do. When you remember God, you'll hear Him instructing you. You will understand His instructions. And you will be filled with faith in Him. And you do what He told you to do. Let me tell you this. When you start to reflect on all the things that God has done for you, that is a record you're keeping of God's faithfulness to you. That's why we forget. We forget because we do not keep a record. We do not keep a record. Sometimes things happen in our lives, and because the solution came to us so swiftly, so easily, we take it for granted, we forget it. And so when something else happens, we forget where we turn for help. And because we forget where we turn for help, we turn in another direction, and woe and behold, we struggle and we suffer. God wants us always to remember Him. His love endures forever. In other words, His is an unfailing love. He wants us to remember that He loves us and He would never ever let us go into anything that's going to cause us to suffer. If anything is causing you to suffer, remember God. I'm telling you that we can always reflect on good things that God has done for us, because there's a multiplicity of things that God has done. I'm going to give you a challenge here now. In this new week, sit down with a pen, and you will need a book, and start to write down from when you were a kid to now how many things you know God did for you that saved you from trouble. The day when you thought you had nothing, I'm reflecting days when you have children and you don't have anything to feed them. And then suddenly an idea came, and what you produce the children enjoy. It was no big thing, but an idea came, and you used the idea and the children enjoyed it. The children remember it. Of all the things you gave them to eat, and you took them out, they always wanted out one thing. And you're saying, my God, but we didn't have nothing. It was just something I did. No, it's something God did through you. He will always show up and give you your best. Sickness. I know one time I had to have a surgery. And I'm telling you this. I had to have a surgery, and I knew it from deep in my inside that I was not coming back after that surgery. I knew. I made my peace with God. But as I was being wheeled in, I got a text from somebody saying you're healing with split foot like the dawn. When they woke me up to see that surgery was over, I said, wow, am I here? Am I really here? They probably thought I was crazy. But I knew what was going on in my mind before I did that surgery. God will show up, and the worst that's going on in your life, God is going to reverse it. If you remember God, you're remembering the one who can take you out of anything that you're going through, that you cannot take yourself out of. Times when you were probably on the job and the boss was behaving all erratic. They were threatening to fire you or doing all sorts of things. And God gave you one thought, one idea, and you used it. And you got out of their way without the embarrassment. We should hold on to things, but we should get lost in the memory of God. That is why God called Abraham out of Ur. He called him out because he wanted to start a new people on the face of the earth. People who will maintain his name and a memory of him, and then pass it on. And so we're seeing David here instructing his people that they must give thanks to God, because God's love endures. For me to give thanks to anybody, I have to remember what they did for me. That's a heart of gratitude. If I'm remembering what they did for me. I'll forever be grateful because I know what they did for me was something I could not do for myself. When Joshua was about to die, he called all the people, all the children of Israel, all the tribes of Israel together. And he told them what God had spoken. God had said, it's in Joshua 24.
Then Joshua assembled all the tribes of Israel at Shechem. He summoned the elders, leaders, judges, and officials of Israel, and they presented themselves before God. Joshua said to all the people, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Long ago, your forefathers, including Terah, the father of Abraham and Nahor, lived beyond the river and worshipped other gods. But I took your father Abraham from the land beyond the river and led him throughout Canaan and gave him many descendants. I gave him Isaac, and to Isaac I gave Jacob and Esau. I assigned the hill country of Seir to Esau, but Jacob and his sons went down to Egypt. Then I sent Moses and Aaron, and I afflicted the Egyptians by what I did there, and I brought you out. When I brought your fathers out of Egypt, you came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued them with chariots and horsemen as far as the Red Sea. But they cried to the Lord for help, and he put darkness between you and the Egyptians. He brought the sea over them and covered them. You saw with your own eyes what I did to the Egyptians. Then you lived in the desert for a long time. I brought you to the land of the Amorites who lived east of the Jordan. They fought against you, but I gave them into your hands. I destroyed them from before you, and you took possession of their land. When Balak, son of Zippor, the king of Moab, prepared to fight against Israel, he sent for Balaam, son of Beor, to put a curse on you. But I would not listen to Balaam, so he blessed you again, and I delivered you out of his hand.
What God is trying to remind them of are some life circumstances, some challenges that they had in their lives. And they were being slaves, they were being badly treated by the Egyptians. But God went in and he rescued them. God allowed Pharaoh to suffer 10 plagues, and he took them out. When they were on their way out of Egypt, they were cornered between the Red Sea and all of the Egyptian army coming back to recapture them. They called on God. And what God did, the impossible. He opened up the sea, made it a road, and they could have walked through. But when the enemy was coming to get them, God closed back the sea, and they all drowned. When God went and rescued the Israelites out of Egypt, he was starting a new history in his relationship with man. A new history. He was allowing man to see something that man might have been taken for granted, but he made it open. He revealed this to them, that he is a God who will go before them, even as he's with them, even as he's behind them, as they rear God. In other words, when you remember the God you serve, you remember the God who is with you, ahead of you, and behind you. Why? Because nothing behind can ambush you. Nothing in front will surprise you. He's going ahead of you and winning all the victories. And he's with you to give you security. death, because we believe we have no cover in times of need and in times of challenges. God wants us to remember him in everything. He wants us to remember him. I'm challenging you again. Take your books when you go home and your pen and write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write down all the things that you know God has done for you. That you know saved you from trouble. Saved you from death. All the things he's done that saved you from shame and pain. When you remember who God is, no matter what you're going through, you know who to call on. Because God has already proven who he is to you. He's already proved himself. When you forget, it's not that God is not there, but it's that you are not connected to the one who can provide for your every need. So even if he's giving it to you, you're not connected. You will not receive it. And may I say again, God wants to heal you. He wants to provide resources for your every need. He wants to give you power. He wants to secure you. He wants you to know that with him, nothing is impossible. Whatever you stand in need of, if you call on him, he's going to provide it. He does not want you to forget that. A lot of times we make mistakes and we do our own thing, but you end up in trouble. Because we're forgetting that God is with us and he has a plan. And nothing but the best will come from God. Why? Because God is a good God. His nature is good. God wants us to remember him. There are ways and means in which we drop the ball big time. We drop the ball big time. We don't even remember to pray sometimes. We don't even remember to pray. And that's sad. You need to communicate with the one who loves you. You need to communicate with your God. You need to talk with him. God is one God that removes all your shame and all your pain and all your guilt. If you're still walking around in pain, shame, and guilt, then you do not know who your God is. So despite what you're going through, despite how you feel, your God is waiting. He's waiting for you to talk with him. He says, call on me, and I will answer you. I will tell you great things that you do not know. God wants you to have all the wisdom and all the knowledge you need to survive the challenges that you're going to face in this life. He says, call on me. Ask, I will give. Seek, you will find. Knock, and the door will be open for you. God is available, but we have to remember him. We cannot live without the memory of God in our hearts. I'm saying it often because I want us to get this message. You know, we are likely to leave here and forget everything that's been said. I'm pausing. I want you to understand this. God wants you to remember him. Because when you go out there, it's not easy. You're going to end up in some places that you never planned for. You never even wanted to hear about. Some situations will come into your life and you say to yourself, oh my God, where did it all come from? But God is saying, remember me. Remember me. This too, you will overcome. This too, I will set you free from. This too, I'm going to build you up. So that when you talk about this, other people will be blessed by your testimony. Right now, we each in this place, we are actually experiencing how God is writing our destiny. What's a testimony? A testimony is a good story about something God has done in your life. God is helping you to write a good story about what he has done in your life. What does that mean? It means that right now God is correcting all your mistakes. It means that God, right now God is giving you strength when you're weak. It means that right now God is soothing you when you're paining. It means that right now the things of your past that you're so scared to talk about, God is brushing it away. All the sins that you've committed, God is saying, I forgive you. God is giving you a testimony that will bless others when you open your mouth and you let it out. We must never forget the God we serve. Never forget the God we serve. But that's not all. You see, there is a plan that God has. We may say, okay, I will remember, but you can't remember and hold it in your heart. If you remember the God you serve and you hold it in your heart, you're destroying your children. God wants your children to know about your experience with Him. I can take a little longer pause this time, because we are trying to say now that more children will be here today. It depends on how we talk to our children of God. They will either make a decision for God or a decision against God. How often do we put our children to sit down and tell them what God has done in our lives? How often do we spend time linking our children up with the God we serve? How often in our homes do we have meetings where we sit down and say, okay, today we're going to talk about the goodness of God. I want to tell you about a few experiences I had, and you just erupt in prayer. Don't ask why. We are blaming our children and say, well, they don't do this and they don't. No, if you did not instill it in them, they would not do it. It's not about the kids. God gave us those kids. We are the parents. He gave us those kids because He trusts us with them. And what that trust is based about is based upon our passing on knowledge of Him to them, so that they can pass on knowledge of Him to their children and their children. You see, God does not want this world to run without knowledge of Him. This world will be a sad place, and the joy that we are experiencing will constantly be on the decline if we are going through this life forgetting who God is. The Bible says the joy of the Lord is our strength. If we do not know God, where is the joy? Where is the strength? It's going to decline. And we just have wars and rumors of wars. We have chaos. We have more murders, more crime. Why? Because our kids are forgetting God. Go with me to Deuteronomy chapter 11. We look at 19 to 21. Deuteronomy chapter 11, 19 to 21. God is asking us that we pass on our experiences with Him. Why did God give us children? According to the book of Malachi, so that we can raise them up for God. Not for the world. We quickly tell children about how to get a good job and how to have education, that we tell them about God. Let's read this one again. Deuteronomy 11, 19 to 21. Go on. Joseph, you better go ahead.
Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Write them on the door frames of your houses and get on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children may be many in the land that the Lord swore to give your forefathers, as many as the days that the heavens are above the earth.
You see that? Go. Oh, sorry, thank you. You see that? He's saying in everything you do. In everything you do. If you're remembering God, you will have it in your mind to share Him with your children. He's saying when you're walking on the road, that should be a conversation with your children. When you're at home sitting down in your house, that's a conversation with your children. When you're lying down on your bed, that's a conversation. Why? Because when you remember his goodness, his kindness, his love, and his mercy, you know what is happening? You're opening up your heart to see more of him in your life and in your circumstances. We're the ones who cut ourselves off from God by not even wanting to think about him. So that your days and the days of your children, so that your days and the days of your children, you see, when you have God in your mind, your days and the days of your children may be many in the land that the Lord swore to give you and your forefathers. My God, my God. Remembering God, in other words, gives us long life. Remembering God gives us long life. And you know, if God is with you, your long life cannot be days of struggle. Because he's your provider. Once he gives you long life, he's going to provide for every single minute that you have to go through that life. We are in the habit of forgetting God. But as children of God, we must change that. As children of God, we must change that. As of here on, I want to implore that when we go home and vow to ourselves in everything we do to remember God. You know, I will tell you the secret of something that I do. I never told my wife, but I will tell you guys. You see, when I'm cooking, I'm remembering God and praying over the food. And when she's eating, she said, "Oh my God, what did you do?" When our family comes to eat, "Oh my God, you can really cook." I said, You know what I say? When you are remembering God, as you do the things you're doing, the power of God manifests in what you do. Wherever I go, whether it's for a short period or a long period, I always pray. Put God in it. People are calling me from all over. Some call for counseling and all manner of things. Some problems I'm hearing I've never heard before, and I'm saying, "Well, where did this one come from?" But I pray. And God speaks the solution through me to them. When you put God in your circumstances change. Go home and practice it. When you're sitting to talk with your kids, you control the conversation. You know some situations that you've experienced that you need to tell your children about. My mother would always tell me when she was alive about how I was born. And when she starts to tell me, she never factors on one thing. It had to be God. So now that I'm older, I'm telling myself that the only reason why I'm alive today, it had to be God. And every time I achieve something, I know for a fact that what it called for, I did not have it. And so I'm forced to say, it had to be God. We have got to take this thing seriously. In everything we do, make sure God is in our minds, God is in our memory, God is in our heart. So if we do something, God will be in it also. When we leave this place, let's make the vow. Let's make this vow. In our homes, we will bring God in. One of the things that I always remember as a parent myself, with my wife, when the kids were growing up, we would pray together. Are you praying with your children? Are you praying with your children? Well, but God is asking you to bring them up for him. And the child is never too old for prayer. The child is never too old for prayer. I will tell you this. My son was all over the place. And the moment we got to pray for him. But not the moment we got to pray. It takes a little while sometimes before who you're praying for will come to that place where you're humble enough to listen as God speaks to them. But my son was going through a lot. He was going through a lot. But me and my wife continued to pray and to pray and to pray and to pray and to pray. He was going through a lot. We may not know half of it, but we knew he needed prayers. And right now, thank God, my son is out of what was depressing his life. Could you give God a round of applause to me? If you are looking at your children struggling and just giving them advice, you're crazy. You're crazy. Give them God. Give them God. Don't look at your children and say, oh, but things will get better. All he needs is, no, he needs God. Give them God. Lay your hands on the children, anoint them with oil, and pray them. A child is never too old for parents to pray. Bring God in your home. Bring God in your home. I'm telling you, I've been in the places where people bring everything else except God. People are going to have their hands read. People are going to take a little bottle with something and put it over the door. People are going, I'm telling you, laughing, I'm telling you.
I know. That's why I'm laughing, because it's true.
This is God speaking on me. God speaks to convict. People are going and putting all sorts of things in food. People are going, but let me tell you this. Those things will get you more distressed and confused than anything else. Because the only one who can take you out of your distress is God. Anything else will take you further into distress. Anything will take you further into distress. Stop going to people for people to give you things. When you take it in your homes, it destroys you, it destroys your children, it destroys your future. God is the only one who knows you enough and knows how to rescue you. He knows how to rescue you. Remember God in everything you do. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Father God, we thank you for this word this morning. We thank you for showing us, oh God, the importance of knowing you. The importance of loving you. The importance of serving you, giving you our minds. You say we must cast our cares on you. All of our struggles, oh God, we are just giving to you, not to people, not to circumstances. We are giving them to you because that's what you asked us to do. And Father God, today, my prayer, our prayer, is that we'll turn away from the things that we are doing that are confusing our Christianity. God, you say we must come to you if we are burdened. You say we must come to you if we are heavy laden. You didn't direct us anywhere else. Going anywhere else, oh God, will be destructive. Help us to understand that when we go to other places, we are not resisting the devil, but we are going into the devil's hands. Your word says, resist the devil, he will flee. Because when we go to him, we'll be distressed. God, help us to understand that nothing changes until we find Christ. Help us to understand that our conversations must be based on Christ. Christ must be the center of our thoughts. You told us in Romans 12:1 to renew our minds. Help us, oh God, to take stuff off our minds that are not in keeping with your word to us. Oh God, today I pray for healing on everyone who's sick in this place. I pray for peace to every mind that's confused in this place. I pray for wisdom for everyone, oh God, who's making bad decisions and bad choices. I pray for a breakthrough for those people, oh God, who are in some way or other just pressured by the difficulties of life and under the hands of Satan. I pray for a breakthrough. God, I'm covering each and every one right now with the blood of the Lamb. Let us find peace. Let us look to you and nowhere else. Let us come to you and go nowhere else. Father God, let us find you in all that we do. In Jesus' name. God's name say, amen.